Let's get into NFL Week 15 and recap it, though. We already talked about Thursday, so let's get into the Sunday 1 p.m. slate. There was 2 big games in the 1 p.m. slate, and the others were a bunch of nothings. We must start in Foxborough. The Bills came back from down 21-0 to beat the Patriots 35-31. Get a little closer in the AFC East race. Patriots still got a little bit of a hold on it. But Caleb, I mean, this is tough, you know. It seems like you can't lose these types of games in December. You gotta be able to win a game where you're up 21 points. What happened?
Well, you give up 5 straight touchdowns on 5 straight drives, so that was kind of like the whole kick in the pants for us. I mean, every single drive in the second half, except for the last one that they got a stop on to get the ball back, and then we went out on downs. They scored. Defense, just the light bulb went off in the middle of the second quarter. Don't know what happened there. And then Drake May. I mean, like Travion Henderson was great, but there's just some situations where he was holding on to the ball a little bit on third downs. We were not able to convert, and pressure did get to him just a little bit. And he's dealt with it all year, and he still played pretty darn good. But look, I thought we would split, to be honest with you. Like every year when I see the Bills on our schedule, I think we're going to win one and lose one, no matter, it don't matter if it's there or here. And I was actually telling somebody today, I'm pretty certain the Bills and us have split like the last 5 years, and every single year we win on the road. Each of us wins on the road. So the trend continues.
Yeah. And it was the Patriots had won 10 games in a row coming in that. The Bills hadn't got swept by a division opponent in a while, so that streak continues. Jake, what were your thoughts?
I have a few. The New England schedules, they're a good team. They're a good team, and they fight hard, and I think they have a good head coach, and they have an okay quarterback that everyone wants to crown as the next Tom Brady. And they're talking about like, oh, the torch has been passed from Tom Brady to Drake May, and talk all this hoopla. Then he goes out 14 for 23, $150, no tuds and a pick. Still hasn't thrown for 300 yards. He's been starting for 2 full seasons. Michael Penix, who everyone dunks on, threw for 300 yards in his 3rd career start. So I just want to throw that out there. Drake May still hasn't. I will say this. One good thing to say about the schedules. Travion Henderson's really good. Travion Henderson's great, and I think the schedules need to hold on to him for quite a while because he is really good. 14 carries, $148. But at the end of the day, it just came down to Josh Allen making a lot of plays. And I will say this. We should have called this. It should have been a mega lock on the Bills because Haley Seinfeld is now pregnant. Mm-hmm. So he was feeling good today.
How do you feel about being called the schedules, Caleb?
Well, everybody should be called the schedules, but somehow we've won more games than a lot of people in ours. Everybody, I don't control it. They don't control it. You just show up and play what you got. So if that's the commentary that a Falcons fan has got, I know you had a big win this week. I know you're, high and mighty. Hadn't felt like this in a while. Kirk Cousins is back. I mean, Drake May has played at MVP levels all season, and we see one game where they lose by 4 points to the Buffalo Bills, and we're just like, oh, that now they're the schedules, and he's an average guy.
Why? Over 300 yards thing is wild. How does that
I don't
happen?
think he's been asked to do it. I think that's the main thing.
That's
New
crazy.
England never puts him in a situation where he's just airing the ball out. And if he does, like by the end of it, we're handing the ball off to try and get out of the game. Like we're just never like running it up.
And Sanders today has thrown for over 300 yards already.
Well, I think it's because he had to. Like we don't want to do that. I think if Josh McDaniels has his way with a game plan, it's not going to be for him to just turn the ball loose 40 times and throw it downfield like that.
Yeah, I get that. But regardless, he's had like 30 starts now in his career. And to not get it at least once is kind of crazy. I'm not even trying to say it's a bad thing. It's kind of crazy, though. So, Caleb, off the top of your head, what would you say is Drake May's best game this year?
Probably the Bills game the first time around.
Bills game the first time around. Let's see. That's today's Bills game. Okay, so the best game of MVP Drake May's season was 22 for 30, 270 yards, no touchdowns, no picks.
Won the game, though.
Good.
You want the stats thing, that's fine, but he is 11-3.
Did he lose the MVP today?
I mean, if the way Matt Stafford's playing right now, he might have.
Trevor Lawrence, 6 touchdowns today. It might be Trevor's MVP. Might be.
All right. The other 1 p.m. game that was actually competitive. The Chargers ended the Chiefs season, and obviously it just ended Patrick Mahomes' season as well. Chargers win 16-13 on the road in Arrowhead. Huge game. They are probably not going to win the AFC West, but they are probably going to make the playoffs now. What a win. Defensive battle. Justin Herbert to keep winning the games with a broken hand after they just played a game on Monday night, so short rest. Chiefs were all in, had to win the game, and the Chiefs are eliminated from the playoffs. Unfortunate for Jake, but the
Yeah, dude,
Chargers
come
just
on.
keep
Come
winning.
on.
I mean,
I was
acting like you did not say you wanted them to make the playoffs.
Listen. You know what I was saying? I was saying if they made it, I wasn't going to be like, damn it, the Chiefs again, whatever. But I'm not upset that they got eliminated. If anything, I'm kind of happy they got eliminated. I am a little bummed out that Patrick Mahomes towards ACL. That does stink. We
Don't
listen,
root for injuries.
Deep Shot Sports, we don't root for injuries every year. Okay. And then, think about the recovery. I mean, probably about a year. He's definitely not going to be ready for week 1. I mean, he might be ready for week 4 or something. So, I think the Chiefs sold their soul for last season. All those games that they won that they should not have won, and being able to get to the Super Bowl. And yeah, the Super Bowl went south, but they won a lot of games they were not supposed to. And I think that was due to the devil black magic that they were doing underneath the stadium with Taylor Swift. That's that. The Chargers look good, man. The Chargers keep on fighting. I think getting Amari and Hampton back is good for them. The further run game has looked a little bit better the last few weeks. Kimani Vidal,
Yeah, one of those.
Sounds right.
Vidal, he's good, but Amari and Hampton's the real freaking deal. And I really hate that he missed a lot of the games for my dynasty team. But I think Chargers are in a really good situation to compete. Now they just have to worry about the Broncos, who just got a big win. But the Broncos have a big game next week against the Jags. So if the Jags can beat the Broncos next week and the Chargers win, they're right back in it for the AFC West. Right back in it.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody wants to talk about the Chiefs, playoff run being done. I think it was a day to give them flowers for what they have accomplished because, yeah, I mean, it kind of went south in the worst way. Like Mahomes is the tie ball game at the end of the game, or he's down 3 late and he's trying to rally, and that's when he gets hurt, and then Minshew comes in and throws a pick right after it. 11 straight years of making the playoffs is pretty incredible, and however many AFC championships in a row is pretty incredible. It was a great run, and I don't want to say the dynasty's over. I don't want to be the person that gets that clip. I just wonder if Andy Reid, how much longer he's going to keep doing this. And I wonder that before even the game started, whether or not they won or lost.
How old is he?
He's been around for a while. I mean, you got to think he was coaching the Philadelphia Eagles in 2004.
67. He's 67.
Hey.
He's 67.
But my thing also with that, he's 67. He's not young. He's made as much money as he can spend, and he's accomplished everything. There is nothing left for that man to accomplish. I've said it on this podcast before, but one thing we got to understand with these professional athletes and professional coaches, they are wired so differently than just normal human beings. So while it's easy for us to say, yeah, he should retire, it's going to be hard for him to do that. So we'll see. But I'm with you, Caleb. I wouldn't be shocked because of how they've fallen apart and that contract that they're now paying Mahomes. We've seen in real time that roster just be depleted around them, which we all knew was going to happen. This is not a team that you can look at and be like, they just need to correct 1 or 2 things and then they'll be right back in the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah,
It's just not like that.
I mean, I think I heard they were over 30 million over the cap. Not to mention they have no run game, so it's probably been a lot harder on Patrick Mahomes this season than it's ever been. The receivers drop all the passes. The defense has gotten a lot worse. But credit to the Chargers. How about them? I mean, they had 2 games where it definitely didn't seem like they were even the better team for the most part, and they still come away with a win. Rest of the 1 p.m. slate, rough. The Bears beat the Browns 31-3 today. Brutal, but good for the Bears. They needed that win to stay ahead. The Ravens beat the Bengals 24-0. Tough day for Joe Burrow after that interview he had this past week.
Mm-hmm.
Which you guys are quarterbacks. What quarterback feel did you get there from his press conference the other day?
I don't even know how to answer that question because it was odd. It seemed like he wanted to retire. There were some people saying interpreting it as he wants out of Cincinnati. I kind of heard it like he wants out of football and he just wants to be done, like an Andrew Luck type thing. I don't know. I'll say this, man. If I'm a Bengals fan, if I'm a Bengals in the Bengals ownership front office, whatever, That is just not what you want to hear at all. And he's been banged up a lot, like a lot. Like since they went to the Super Bowl, just about every year he's been hurt. And he's already won comeback player of the year once. Obviously, this year getting hurt again, rushing through his progression to get back. I don't know. It's bad. He's not healthy and it's showing.
No, not at all. It sounded like a hurt quarterback to me, and just like Jake said, it sounded Andrew Luckish. I don't know if he's mentally the kind of person to just give up on football. I don't think that's where he's going to go. However, I don't blame him for wanting to maybe want to play somewhere else because that franchise doesn't treat the right people the right way. Like he's probably him and Jamar are probably the only two people in the building that are like treated with the absolute utmost respect, and like their deals were never like too much of a hang up to get done. Compared to how they treated Hendrickson and all the other guys over their last 5 years history. I mean, you go look at it. How many free agents that they had there that were there for years and they just didn't take care of them, let them walk. They're just like, we're not paying you. It would be a better situation. I mean, also too, when you're playing at an MVP level constantly, like year in, year out, when you're in there, you're the probably 3 or 4 best quarterbacks in the NFL. And you go 9-8 or 4-10, or I mean, it's just you playing hero ball in order for your team to be competitive. It probably gets draining at some point.
Yeah.
Has to be. Has to be. And especially like with the success he found. I mean, like you remember back in the day when he owned Patrick Mahomes. They're calling Arrowhead Burrowhead and they were rolling. He's going to the Super Bowl in his second year in the NFL.
Did you guys know that this is crazy? Actually, the other day, me and Chelsea were in the car, and she asked me, she was like, "Has anybody ever been the number one pick and then gone to the Super Bowl the same year?" I was
Yeah,
like,
Joe Montana. No, not Joe
no,
Montana.
I don't.
Yes, but there is one.
I don't think there is.
There is the Dolphins quarterback. Who he lost in his rookie year. And he
Brian
never went
Gracie?
back. No.
Well, either way, I was going to say
Dan Marino went to the Super Bowl his rookie year in the NFL, lost it.
when he was the number one pick.
Well, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, so you have to be the number one pick in the NFL and then go to the Super Bowl the same year. I looked, and so we looked that up. No, it hasn't. No matter even to what Jake said. So sorry if we didn't.
No.
But anyway, Joe Burrow was the quickest to do that, and it was in 2 seasons. So, I mean, to go from that and to what we're doing now, sad. Now, the game, on the other hand, Ravens, good job. They needed a game like that. Them and the Steelers, it seems like it's just going to come down to them for that final spot in the playoffs or final home game in the AFC, where it seems like the Ravens or the Steelers are going to be hosting a team with a way better record than them. Okay, the Commanders beat the Giants in a nothing bowl. The Eagles beat the Raiders 31-0 in a get-right game. Jags smoked the Jets 48-20. And the Jags may be the best team in the AFC right now.
Yeah. I mean, if you listen to my Instagram reel post I put up earlier, I think they are. This team is
5 wins in a row,
boys. 5 wins in a row. 4 of the last 5, Trevor Lawrence has not played in the fourth quarter. Or if he did play, it was like a drive. Not because he was hurt, not because he was benched, because they are beating a professional football team so bad that he didn't have to play. Trevor Lawrence had 6 touchdowns in barely over 3 quarters today. You want to know something else? Trevor Lawrence is the only quarterback in NFL history to have 5 passing touchdowns, over 300 passing yards, a rushing touchdown, and 50 or more rushing yards. The only quarterback in NFL history. Statistically, today was one of the best played quarterback games of all time. He's rolling, man. Liam Cohen has him. Liam Cohen, and I'll also say this. I know last week I was like, Liam Cohen might be in the conversation for Coach of the Year. Liam Cohen is the Coach of the Year. It's like the first 10-win team that the Jags have had since like 2017, I think was what they said it was. Like since we were in high school.
Really? The one when they went a couple years ago, they weren't a 2-win team?
Hold on, let me see.
Blake
Bortles today.
They went to a couple years ago when they played the Chiefs. They weren't a 10-win team then?
No.
Wow. How about that, dude? I love the Jags right now. I mean, first
2017.
of all, 2017, yeah, with Blake Bortles. That was like, freshman year of college. I remember that was when he won the AFC Championship.
Yep.
That's crazy. Caleb, I mean, What do you think about the Jags? I mean, do you think Liam Cohen should be the coach of the year?
I think that's well deserved at this point. I mean, he's done a good enough job this year. I just love how, a team goes on a 5-game win streak and they're now the best team in the NFL. But if a team goes on a 10-game win streak, which is double that, and then they lose one game, now they're everything's just average. We're back to normal.
Did you look at the schedule?
No, it's just I mean, everybody plays NFL players every week.
No, this was a different. Did they beat Brady Cook? Oh man, no. But the Jack said, Jags have won 5 games in a row. Those 5 games against the Chargers, Cardinals, Titans, Colts, and Jets. I mean, those are some of the best teams in the NFL right there. So, not to mention the Raiders a couple weeks before that. So,
Are they
and
the
they'll
Jacksonville schedules?
No, the Jags are good, man. I'm telling you, Jags, good. There's something different going on. There's something different going on. And I'll say this too about Liam Cohen. I feel like every single head coach that's been in Jacksonville since Trevor got to town was like not scared of him, but they just like they were coaching him kind of weak. Just like, you know what I mean? Like not trying to demand
Urban
the
Meyer
out of
definitely
him.
was giving that guy some problems.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But y'all remember early in the season when the Jags were on the road in Cincinnati and they lost, and it was like super disappointing. And the whole storyline was like Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence were like yelling at each other and like getting in it. Do y'all remember that?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that. And I remember people were like, "Oh, dude, what is Liam Cohen doing? Like he's out of his range. Like he doesn't know what he's doing." I think he was just lighting a fire under Trevor's ass, and finally having somebody do it has gotten the most out of Trevor. Also, I talked about it last week. Jacoby Myers. I did not realize Jacoby Myers would have made as big of a difference as he has, but he absolutely has. He's been arguably the Jags' best wide receivers since they got him at the deadline, and he's opened so much up for him. Travis Etienne had 2 touchdowns today. They're running the ball well. They're throwing the ball well. Their defense is second most turnovers in the league. It's a good squad. It's a good squad.
Another good squad is the Houston Texans. They beat the Cardinals
Very
today,
good
40,
squad.
40-20. They've won 6 games in a row. They have one of the best defenses in the league. It is the AFC South. Colts lost to the Seahawks. We'll talk about that in a second. Phillip Rivers comeback game. But the Colts and the Jags and Texans, they've already played twice. They both beat each other once. So I'm not sure how the tiebreakers
The
work.
Texans would have the tiebreaker.
Okay. So it's a tight race in the AFC South. Indeed, a 2-team race at this point.
Yeah, the Texans look damn good. And, like, honestly, like, the Jags are just blessed that they started as slow as they did because now that the Texans' offense is finally clicking, they're a dang good team. They're a dang good team. It's scary. It's scary. Their edges that they have and their whole defense just in like a total aspect is pretty dang good. Pretty dang good.
Yeah, defense travels. I mean, we talked about it last week, and once you got the offense clicking, the Texans thought that they would be, formidable contender in the NFL, and you're kind of seeing it at week by week. They're getting better too as this thing's going on. It's not like they've just like found it and it's plateauing off. No, it's improving. I mean, they put up 40 points today, and if we talked in week 2 or week 3, we didn't think they'd probably ever score over 20 for the whole season.
And I'll say the scariest thing as a Jags fan is their last 3 games to finish out the season. Home against the Raiders, at the Chargers, home against the Colts, which the Colts with Phillip Rivers. So I think at worst they get 2-1 in that stretch. And if they beat the Chargers in LA and they win out and they're sitting at 12-5, Jags better hold on. Jags gotta win next week in Denver. Like if they drop that one and the Texans win out, bang, it's the Texans division.
It'll be interesting. The AFC South, who would have thought it'd be this exciting? Let's just talk about it then. The Colts just played the Seahawks. Heartbreaking loss. Phillip Rivers did everything he could to try to win this game. Just want to say it was a pleasure getting to see him. He looked so big. That's all I'll say. He looked very large on the field, still tall, but didn't look like he fit the uniform real well.
He's a little thick.
Yeah, but he 120 yards, 18 for 27, and they lose on a last-second field goal. He got them down to a situation where they took the lead, and then the Seahawks got it back down and did what they do. That's why they're 11-3. But the Colts, man, do we even think that? Okay, now they're 8-6. They're technically still in it, but I mean, are we going to see Phillip Rivers again next week?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he played good enough. It's not like he lit the world on fire, but I mean, he has been out of the league for 5 years. I mean, like I caught myself thinking that we were lived in a Disney movie at some points and being like, oh, he's gonna go for 250 and a couple tuds and like he's gonna lead this, that, and the other. He played fine. His one interception was a garbage time pick, but I think he'll be back next week. And if they lose again next week, then it might be Now the playoffs are looking pretty thin. Go back to your grandkids.
And play the young guy too, if he's
Yeah,
healthy.
true.
I
Yeah.
mean, also too, they're kind of up against the injury report. I mean, because maybe AR is able to come back at some point this season, then they can discard Philip Rivers. But I think until that happens, I think he's going to be the quarterback. They'd rather see him out there than Riley Leonard.
All right, Seahawks again get another big one, and Smith and Jigba, another 100+ yard game for him.
Yep, big day for the kicker for Seattle as well. 6 field goals. That's how they won this.
Didn't score a touchdown. How about that? Okay. Okay. Other 4 o'clock games. 49ers beating the Titans. Surprise, surprise. 37-24. Saints beat the Panthers 20-17. The Saints have beaten the Bucks and the Panthers in back-to-back weeks, which has set up the Bucks and the Panthers to both be 7-7. And the Bucks and the Panthers are both going to play each other twice in the last 3 weeks of the season. And the NFC South and the Falcons are already eliminated from the playoffs at 5-9. But the Saints, man, is it Show, however you say it? Ever since he started playing, the Saints have been a lot better. I mean, you got to think they started the season like, hold on, let me pull it up. Yeah. Okay, so they started the season 1-8, 1-8. And then they've beaten the Panthers both times they played them this year. And Tyler Shaw, I'm pretty sure his first game was either against the Panthers or it was against the Rams. Let me hold on. I'm pulling this up. Sorry. Okay, yeah. His first game was against the LA Rams on the road in whatever week, right? They were 1-7 when he took over as quarterback. Since then, they lost to the Rams. They beat the Panthers, lost to the Falcons, lost to the Dolphins, beat the Bucks, beat the Panthers. So he is 3-3 as a quarterback.
Much improved from what Spencer Rattler was bringing to the table at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I mean, Spencer Rattler has only got like one career win ever in like 15 tries. Tyler Shucks got 3. And I mean, did you guys see the stat that the Panthers haven't won as a favorite in like forever?
Yeah, not shocking. But this result was genuinely shocking because the Panthers just can't decide if they want to be a halfway decent team or not. Because we'll see the Panthers look like a competent bunch, and then the next week they'll lose to the Saints. And like I know we're saying all this about being Chuck or being 3-3 and all that, but there's something made a mistake. This is not a great football team. It's not a great football team. The Panthers should have won this game. Ted McMillan had a pretty bad drop going into the end zone today. That probably would have been the difference. The NFC South is as up for grabs as any division in the history of professional sports. And the Falcons got eliminated from the playoffs in week 13, 14. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Good for the Saints, though, I guess. Nobody wants to win the NFC South. And the fact that an NFC South team is going to get a home playoff game is disgusting because whoever it is going to lose because none of them are good. Like the last few years, there's been 3 terrible teams in the NFC South and 1 good team, and it was the Bucks. The Bucks aren't even good anymore. Someone's going to get absolutely the blessing of the century by being able to go on the road to the Bucks or the Panthers in the first round.
Until they pull off the Seattle Seahawks. What was that? 2009, 2010 was that?
Yeah,
the Marshawn Lynch run.
The earthquake.
Yeah. Caleb, any thoughts on the Panthers Saints game?
It's just stunning to me that the Panthers want to, at this point in the season, get lazy and lose games to teams that have nothing to play for. I mean, 8-6 would have been sitting in the catbird seat, like what Jake talked about, for them to make the playoffs and be serious. But Bryce Young can only beat the Falcons, I guess. I don't understand what the deal is.
All right. Rams beat the Lions 41-34. Another big game. We talked about it in the previous last episode. High scoring offenses. Matt Stafford, Jared Goff ball, whatever you want to call it. It lived up to the hype. I mean, 75 total points, bunch of touchdowns. Puka Nacua with over 180 yards. Matt Stafford with another 360 through the air. It's just the Lions defense proves again that they cannot keep up and get stops when they need to. And the Rams are 11-3. Hit them and the Seahawks both 11-3. And that's whoever. Here's what we just talked about. The Seahawks or the Rams are going to get to go play the Panthers or the Bucks in round 1.
And it's going to be bad. 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 When do the Rams and the Seahawks play again? They play again this season. Next week. Thursday. They'll play Thursday. They're playing 4 days.
It's about as good as a Thursday night game as we've had all year.
Yeah.
It's last Thursday. It was great. Rams Lions, though.
Well, we talked about last week. I guess Matt Stafford finally gets the Detroit Lions monkey off his back. So now has Matt Stafford beaten all 32 teams in the NFL? Do we know that?
Let's look it up.
I wonder. I wonder. But yeah, the Rams just continue to be a buzzsaw. Their offense is just so good. But Puka Nacua got hurt in this game, and Devontae Adams got hurt in this game.
Huge for
Something to keep
Coach
an eye on.
playoffs too.
Yeah, huge. So just keep your eye on that. If you lose both your wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 in a game, that is, for the listeners at home, that if they're not sure about it, that's not good. That's not
He's
good.
beaten 31 teams.
Who's
Steelers,
the- yeah.
Steelers are the only one he hasn't beaten. So I think he had already beaten the Lions
Yeah.
based on this. But either way, no, he has not. All right, and then the Broncos beat the Packers 34-26. Hold on, let me check. Is their win streak at 11 right now? Is that what they just hit today? Give
The
me a sec.
Broncos, let's see.
Some slow Wi-Fi here.
Clicking out on the iPad as quick as
Yes, it is.
Yep,
The
11
11th.
straight.
It is the 11th win in a row for the Denver Broncos. Only elite teams can keep an 11-game win streak.
Yeah. Can get 10. 10 is easy. 10 is easy. 11 is tough. And I'll say this, I'm finally going to put my respect on the Denver Broncos because, we covered this last week. I'm not the biggest fan of 11-2 teams, but when you get to 12-2, that is undeniable. That is okay. This team is serious. This team is serious. And, I joke a little bit, but the Broncos defense has never been a question for us, but their offense really came through today. Next threw for over 300 yards, which is we've already covered is in very, very difficult to do in the NFL. And he had 4 touchdowns. Run game's going to go, and RJ Harvey, the rookie, got 65 yards. So good to see for the Broncos. But I know I talked about it earlier. But this sets up a huge matchup next week with the Jags. Huge. They could be a potential 1 seed on the line.
Yep. Jake talked about how this was going to be a QB game, I think, in the preview to this. When we were picking it, and Bo Nix won that battle. I did not expect that to happen. I thought if they were going to do anything for the Denver Broncos to win, it was going to be them to be playing a lot better on defense. So they still gave up a good bit of points and a good bit of yards in the air, but it wasn't enough to overcome. Green Bay, the turnovers came back and bit them in the end.
Yeah, Pat Surtain had an awesome interception in this game. If you haven't seen it, awesome pick, like diving. It was pretty cool.
Also, Michael Parsons believed to have a torn ACL, so not a good news. I was actually watching the play when it happened. Tough, man. Packers make that trade, lose to 2 first-round picks for this. I mean, team's looking great, and really needed a good defense and pass rush in the playoffs to make big plays, and that is unfortunate. Just hate to see it. We don't root for injuries. I think Christian Watson went down for the Packers today, too.
I mean, that man Christian Watson is made of glass at this point.
Yeah, no. Wait. Yeah, it was. So Christian Watson was hurt on the play that Pat Surtain intercepted. I think Pat Surtain injured him and then broke his glass, as you were saying. Okay. Well, that'll wrap up our recap of NFL Week